Meta is making a really big change to a really important Facebook ads feature. I'm very excited about it, and in this video I'm going to show you what it is and how to use it. Okay, so what am I talking about here? Well, Meta is making massive changes to frequency options. And just to quickly explain, frequency is the number of times that people have seen your ads. So for example, you have a 3 frequency. That means that of the people that have seen your ads, on average, they've seen them 3 times. Now, a lot of advertisers feel that Meta builds frequency too quickly. In other words, they take a smaller proportion of your audience and they put ads in front of them again and again and again instead of distributing your ad impressions evenly. If you think about you're paying for impressions, you're paying for eyeballs, you're paying for Meta to put your ads in front of people, well, those impressions can be spread over a small number of people who see your ads again and again and again, or they can be spread more thinly over a larger number of people. Now, there are advantages to having higher frequency numbers, particularly if your product or service is quite a large decision, you've got a lot of convincing to do, you need to really demonstrate the benefits associated with your product or service, put in proof, customer testimonials, all that sort of stuff. Having a high frequency can be really helpful. But not all businesses are like that. Some offer relatively impulse purchase products and services, things that people can quite easily say yes to. You might be advertising an info product, something for free that you can very easily say yes to, in which case it's often a better option to spread your impressions more thinly, because you can in effect be wasting money putting ads in front of people that have already seen your ads and gone, no, I'm not interested in that. Well, if you continue to advertise to those people, you're not going to get much for it. So the solution to this previously has been a frequency cap. So you say to Meta, look, I don't want my ads to show to people more than this many times in this time period. So a lot of people would set, for example, a frequency cap of 1 impression every 7 days. So your ad can't be shown more than once within a 7-day period to the same person. But to use a frequency cap, you previously had to use the awareness campaign objective. Now, if you follow my stuff, you know that a lot of the time I'm not a big fan of the awareness objective. I much rather you go with leads or sales. There are times when we use the awareness objective. I'm going to talk about that later on because there's a sort of specific use case for it. But for most advertisers, it's not appropriate. However, we are seeing significant changes to this. So firstly, I want to run through the change that's happening to the frequency cap section within the awareness objective, and then talk about where else we're going to be able to use frequency control options, because that is very, very exciting. Okay, so to demonstrate this, I'm in an example Facebook ad account, and I'm going to go ahead and create an awareness campaign to show you what it is that I'm talking about here. So if I just go ahead and create this and then jump to the ad set level, which is where you set your frequency cap. And we can see here, we've got this new pop-up talking about the change that is made to this feature to start with, and I'll talk about some of the other elements in a minute, okay? So we now have this frequency control section as opposed to a frequency cap, and what that allows us to do is introduce a target frequency as opposed to just a cap. So you can see here, Meta's just defaulted to 2 times every 7 days as a cap, and you can see from this little graphic the way that works, right? Is like, just don't show my ads to people more often than these 2 times within the 7-day period. You can see the target option is grayed out. I'll explain why in a second. The graph sort of goes up and above, and what that means is it's aiming for an average. So if you go with the target option, you're saying, I am actually willing for you to put ads in front of some people who seem to be really interested and really keen and really want my thing. I'm willing for you to put ads in front of those people a little bit more, but just average out here. That's likely to lead to better results, just simply changing that over for most advertisers, because yes, you do want your ads put in front of people that are engaging with them more, clicking on them more, perhaps haven't quite yet, taken an action you want to take, but there are advantages to putting ads in front of those people again. Now, the reason why this is grayed out, this target option, is because in order to use this, you need to use lifetime budgets and have a campaign that's going to run for more than 7 days. So if we scroll down, I change the daily budgets over to lifetime. Meta's defaulted to run this for a month. You can now come up and I can now select target. And that's how you go about actually putting that into action. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of lifetime budgets usually. This feature may well change that, not necessarily in an awareness campaign, but in other campaign types that I'll get to in a minute. We might want to experiment with, okay, we'd rather use daily budgets over lifetime budgets, but is using lifetime budgets worth it because we get to use this feature and the advantages that come with that? That may well be the case, okay? So once you select your target, you then choose the number of impressions, 1, 2, 3, and over the time frame. I don't have sort of specific guidelines here because it's going to vary depending on your product and service. Some products and services, you need more impressions, so you need a higher frequency number than others because you've got more convincing to do. Others, you want to really limit this down. So for example, just to give you an example, if we were to be running, say, a 7-day sale or a 3-day sale, for example, we would want to spread our impressions really thinly across a large number of people, because we want to let as many people in our, particularly in our warm audiences, know that we're running this sale so they can take advantage of it. We don't want impressions to build amongst a small number of people. We want to get out to as many people as possible. So we might go with, for example, 1 impression every 7 days, or 1 impression every 3 days if it's a 3-day sale. Other times we might be happy with more impressions and a higher frequency, like I said, because we need to do more convincing and that sort of thing. Now, if you're going through this thinking, this all seems really complicated, I don't want to have to mess around with frequency caps and controls and targets and all that sort of stuff. I just want sales, I just want leads from my Facebook and Instagram ads. That's exactly what my company can do for you. We can create, manage and optimize your Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns. We'll almost certainly get you significantly better results than if you manage it yourself, and we'll take all that workload off your hands. A win-win all around. So if you're interested, there is a link in the video description below. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website where you can book in a free, no obligation call with one of my team members to find out more about our service. If that sounds good, go ahead and book a call, and hopefully we get a chance to work together. Okay, so this new frequency control section, well, actually it's not technically new. It's new to the awareness objective in the auction buying type, but you actually were able to use this frequency control section with the target option if you use the reservation buying type. It's not something I ever talk about because the reservation buying type has all sorts of issues I won't go into here. Not something you need to worry about. The vast majority of advertisers use the auction buying type, and that's still what I'd recommend. So this is new to that. And this frequency control section being new to the awareness campaign objective, it's fun, it's helpful, I'm glad we've got it. There are going to be some good use cases. I think target is better than cap in most cases, across most advertising, to be honest. But it's not that much of a game changer. What is a game changer about this feature is it being added to other campaign objectives. Now, not within our ad accounts yet, but I have heard of this frequency control section being added to the engagement campaign objective in other ad accounts. And it looks like Meta's currently running a trial. And I've also heard that should that test go well, which I expect it to do so, that this frequency control section is then going to be rolled out to other campaign objectives like sales and leads. And that is an absolute game changer. Being able to control the frequency within the campaign objectives that the majority of Meta advertisers use most of the time, sales and leads, and what I'd recommend, that would be huge. That would help solve a lot of issues that Facebook advertisers run into, things like we've already discussed, ads being shown to a smaller group of people again and again and again too many times. Well, if you can set a cap or a target with those other campaign objectives, you can prevent that from happening. You can say, no, don't put my ads in front of people more than this many times. If you are using some of the Advantage Plus products, which I'd often recommend, one of the concerns that advertisers have about those is that they retarget too aggressively, as in they put too much of the budget into warm audiences and not enough targeting cold audiences. Well, if you say to Meta, look, I only want you to put ads in front of people this many times, yes, they're still going to put ads in front of your warm audiences, but they're not going to keep hammering them and putting ads in front of them again and again and again. They're going to have to, okay, we've hit the cap or the target on those people. We're now going to have to put ads in front of other people, which by definition are going to be cold audiences. And therefore, as an advertiser, you can focus more on new customer acquisition, which is obviously really important and something that a lot of advertisers want to have more control over. Well, if this gets rolled out, that is going to be a great way to do that. So really, really excited about that. And I think one of the best use cases for that would be limited time offers, sales, where you want to let a lot of people know about your stuff over a short period of time. You want those impressions spread thinly. If you've got a new product, something you want to let people know about quite quickly, this would be absolutely fantastic. You wouldn't need to use, you know, a frequency cap in a sales campaign or a leads campaign for, you know, all your different campaigns. You could be selective. You could be like, yeah, with some of them we're going to use it, like I just mentioned, limited time offers, stuff like that, because we want to get the word out. With others, you wouldn't need to. I know a lot of advertisers that are currently using awareness campaigns for things like new sales, limited 3-day flash sales, 7-day sales, specifically for the frequency cap section. So if that can get added into other campaign objectives and they could run sales instead, that's definitely going to produce better results, and that is really exciting. Now, just to quickly mention that this frequency control section even being added to the awareness campaign objective, like I've demonstrated in this video, that is still being rolled out itself. So there's a good chance you won't have that in your ad account. Some of our ad accounts have it, some don't. Just wanted to quickly mention that because I know when I talk about new features, things added, often people will be like, where is this? I can't find it. It's just simply because it hasn't been added to your ad account yet. Now, one of the ways in which this might change my approach to Facebook advertising is my omnipresent content strategy. So previously we would use the awareness objective and we would use a cap. We haven't yet experimented with this target option. We definitely will. I'm also really excited to use the omnipresent content strategy with other campaign objectives. So things like the engagement objective, once we get the frequency control added in there. I think that could be a game changer for that strategy. I expect engagement to perform better than awareness. Now, if you haven't already tried my omnipresent content strategy, you may well be missing out. And if you want to find out more about it, I've done a full tutorial here in this video that shows you how to create it. It's literally a step-by-step walkthrough. It's by far the best strategy for certain types of businesses. And if your business meets the criteria of where this would work really well for you, you definitely want to give this a go. So go ahead and check it out.